Eurogold is driven by being the best civil engineering contractor in the Northwest, ensuring its clients are given the highest level of service that they deserve. Eurogold work in a wide range of industry sectors, including house building, highways, commercial and industrial build.
La Vita is an award-winning, independently run Italian restaurant. Located on Rose Lane in the heart of Liverpool, real Italian-style dishes, using the best ingredients, skillfully prepared by our chefs. Come and try our serious Italian experience.
Mulligan's Funeral and Monumental Services are a family-owned funeral service first established by the late Brian Mulligan in 1996. We provide funeral homes in Gorton, Manchester and Reddish, Stockport, and we pride ourselves on giving a friendly and professional service to all the families who use our service. Contact us on 0161 432 0809.
Hello everyone and welcome to the show. This week we'll be meeting Daniel Coyle, who is the head teacher at Newman Catholic College in London, and Danny will be telling us about a special project that he's involved in. Marian Waldron will be entertaining us with her brand new song called Keep It Country. But first up, we're off to the Embassy of Ireland in London. We'll be speaking to the Minister for the Diaspora, Colm Brophy, as he announces over 5 million in support of the Immigrant Support Programme to the Irish communities here in Britain. The Ambassador Adrian O'Neill will also be joining us.
Obviously, the last 18 months have been difficult for everybody and have been very difficult for the Irish community and very difficult for organisations that serve and support the Irish community. And I think if there was any silver lining to a very black cloud that we all endured, it is the wonderful solidarity and mobilisation of Irish community organisations who did heroic work through the pandemic and through the lockdown to make sure that vulnerable and isolated Irish citizens weren't left on their own and weren't left unsupported. If the more vulnerable and older Irish couldn't come to the centres, well then the centres found some way of getting to them, even if it was only kind of befriending services by phone and so forth. And I think the partnerships that we saw across the community sector between various organisations coming together and pooling their resources so that they could provide that support, I think was particularly inspiring.
Ambassador, it's great to see so many of the groups here represented today that's obviously got some of the funding this current year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's wonderful. I mean, I think in the past, this has always been a great day in terms of the gathering. It's kind of a gathering of the tribes, Martin, nearly, it's kind of representatives of community organisations across Great Britain, come to London to meet the Minister of the Diaspora, hear the good news about the grant package for the next year, and that kind of validates and appreciates all the good work that those organisations do. So I think there's always a fantastic buzz as the leaders of those organisations kind of meet each other and kind of inspire each other and encourage each other to keep up that good work.
Now, I know that you've got out around the country as best you can during the pandemic, but I know you're always very supportive of all the Irish groups here. But it's great to know that you understand the work that goes on behind the scenes for the community here in the UK.
Yeah, well, Mark, no, unfortunately, I mean, during the pandemic and the 18 months or so, we weren't able to go and visit those Irish centres. A lot of them were actually closed. So when we did our utmost to stay connected, through Zoom and team meetings and all of that. So we had a good sense of what was going on the ground, and we had a good sense of the heroic work that was being done by Irish organisations to stay in touch with the people that they support and the people that they serve. And I mean, I'm delighted that we were able to provide some funding during the pandemic that allowed Irish organisations, to put in place kind of, emergency measures that were needed at that time. We're delighted to welcome here in person this evening, so would you please give a warm welcome to Minister Colm Brophy.
Thank you very much. It obviously gives me great pleasure to be here today in the Embassy to do something which is very positive, which is to announce the grant, the aid that's there, which we have announced this year of 5.2 million, which is for over 99 organisations. It's one of our largest ever announcements of funding.
Minister, welcome to the UK.
Thank you very much. Delighted to be here. It's particularly for me very nice because it's my first overseas visit as the Minister for the Diaspora, and I'm really delighted to have this opportunity to be here today.
Well, today, of course, you announced 5 million support here for various organisations right across the UK, and this is vital funding for them, of course, that suffered a lot during the pandemic.
It is, and it actually is one of our largest ever allocations, just about 5.2 million in funding. Really, really important funding because the pandemic has been so impactful, and I think it's always worth just making that note of, people have died, people have lost close family friends, people have had a very, very difficult 18 months during what was a life-changing period of time. And through that, the Irish community groups and organisations right across the UK have been unbelievable in the work and effort. Volunteers putting above and beyond what you would even ask someone to do into the effort. And we're really pleased to be able to support that and to be able to make that support available to them, not just during the pandemic, but now as we come out of it, and particularly to make sure that if they want to look and see how to innovatively do things and how to do things in a new way, that we're there fully behind them and backing them.
Now, I noticed that you've introduced new funding for the survivors of the mother and baby problem as well.
Well, that was something we particularly wanted to do because we wanted to have that recognition in at an early stage and that support in at an early stage, because we know that for a generation in particular, Irish people who came over to the UK, it's the biggest, most traumatic moment in their life, what happened. They want their voices to be heard. They want that engagement from the Irish government side. I know there is a bigger process taking place overall, but what we wanted to do at a very early stage is both ensure that people's voices were heard in terms of consultation and everything, but also that supports were made available. That would be the start of many supports, but that we put that support in early and made it available. So I was particularly pleased to be able to announce that funding this year. The consulate in the north of England and the reopening of the consulate in Wales is all about strengthening and deepening the ties between our two countries. I mean, our relationship in terms of the EU has changed, but the strength and depth of the relationship between Ireland and the UK is a really long-standing, important relationship. The strength and depth of the relationship between our peoples is really important. So it's all about part of an ongoing process of strengthening that and making available the resources on the ground to have that relationship as strong as possible. And those two consulates, I think, will really be playing an important part in that deepening relationship as the years go by.
We're absolutely delighted with the new consulate in the north of England. It's been received really well and really warmly by Irish organisations up there. And I know that the team up there, Sarah Mangan and Karina O'Brien, I know that they're already very active, not just in Manchester and Liverpool, but also travelling to other Irish cities across the north and establishing new relationships. So I think that's a wonderful additional resource for us all.
Can our Irish diaspora travel to Ireland this year? And if they can, will they be welcome?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that because it's a really important thing for me. Two things. First and foremost, yes, we want you to come back to Ireland. We really, really do want you to come back, and you'll be more than welcome. There is an absolute welcome out there. We've had a very tough time of it in Ireland as well in terms of people in our hospitality industry, and everything from the hotels, the restaurants, the bars, all the venues, they're waiting and they're looking forward to Christmas, and they're looking forward to the Irish diaspora coming back. We have, though, for its second year, a really important thing that people should be aware of. It's called To Be Irish at Christmas, which is a website that the department has and hosts. And it's all about giving people a flavour of what it is for Irish Christmas. And that'll kick off in November. And I would say to anybody who's living here and who wants to tune in and look it'll run from basically November through to around Christmas Eve. Please take a look at it. There's all types of interesting information. We had it last year as well when no one could come home. But this year, it's all about letting people see a little flavour of what it is to have an Irish Christmas, and also maybe to encourage you, if you haven't made the decision already, to come over and visit us for a few days over the Christmas. It's an integral part of, I think, what it is to be Irish, no matter where you are in the world, that desire to come home and meet family around Christmas. And we've all of us seen and felt over the generations and years that coming together at Christmas, people coming, whether it was back from England or back from America or back from wherever, and a family being able to come together, and then maybe going down the road and the village pub all of a sudden has the hundreds of people who you haven't seen since last Christmas. So all of that, which is so much part of Christmas in Ireland. Well, the good news is that all the regulations, hopefully, that we've put in place over the last couple of years to deal with COVID, we're going to be able to relax most of those by, we're hoping, the end of October. And that'll enable people to go back and enjoy the crack and come back and meet their family again. So very much so welcoming people this Christmas. Well, I'm here for a couple of days. I came in today and we'll be here all today. We'll be here all tomorrow. We'll go back tomorrow evening late. So we'll have an opportunity to meet a lot of community groups to meet. We have a couple of receptions here in the embassy, and we're also going to have a couple of opportunities to hopefully meet some community groups out in community centres as well. So, and I've had an opportunity to meet some of your good self and some of your lovely colleagues in the media as well. So all, I think, a very productive couple of hours today, and looking forward to the rest of the day and tomorrow. And
just to say how wonderful that is, even just the event of being able to come together again and meet each other in person. Thank you for coming and enjoy the rest of the evening.
It's great to see the Irish government supporting so many of our Irish community groups here in Britain. Now we're going to take a little break and we'll see you very soon.
Eurogold is driven by being the best civil engineering contractor in the Northwest, ensuring its clients are given the highest level of service that they deserve. Eurogold work in a wide range of industry sectors, including house building, highways, commercial and industrial build.
La Vita is an award-winning, independently run Italian restaurant. Located on Rose Lane in the heart of Liverpool, real Italian-style dishes, using the best ingredients, skillfully prepared by our chefs. Come and try our serious Italian experience.
Mulligan's Funeral and Monumental Services are a family-owned funeral service first established by the late Brian Mulligan in 1996. We provide funeral homes in Gorton, Manchester and Reddish, Stockport, and we pride ourselves on giving a friendly and professional service to all the families who use our service. Contact us on 0161 432 0809.
Welcome back. Now, Danny Coyle is the head teacher at Newman Catholic College in London, and Danny is heavily involved in supporting the children of Lebanon and Beirut who have no homes, are struggling for food and have very little clothes.
Several years ago, hundreds of students came to this school from Syria when the conflict in Syria started. About 2013, 2014, we were in a very fortunate position to bring these young people into our school and help educate them. And as it turned out, and to our delight and good fortune, they were fantastic children, absolutely superb. They got involved in the governors, the PTA, they were eager to learn, they were involved in sports activities. The girls, particularly in the sixth form, really added a lot of quality to the school. But of course, they wanted more knowledge, they wanted more education. So we started to do after school classes for them, then holiday classes, then weekend classes. And before you know it, we were running summer schools and Easter camps specifically for refugee children that 6 or 7 years later are going really strong, they are well funded. Caritas supports us, Sport England supports us, the Catholic Church in London supports us. And it almost became a matter of great respect to be seen at the summer camp. So lots of bishops and celebrities would come along because it had a good name. About 2 years ago, members of the Constantinian Charitable Trust approached me and asked me, would I, on behalf of the school, get involved in their charity, which had been going some time, to try to do similar work, but not in London this time, but in Beirut. Because of course, their refugee crisis, the pain of their children, Martin, is far greater than that we experienced and our children experienced 4 or 5 years ago. But they felt that I had something to offer. They felt that maybe I had some experiences and some knowledge that would help not just help raise money, but also help to build and create the schools and the after-school activities for children in 2 parts of Beirut, where children of a Muslim and a Christian background attend. Of course, they've not been in school for the best part of 2 years now. So we're raising money to try to get them back in school, keep them in school, and make sure that their experience of life in school is as positive and as happy as that which many of our children in the UK experience.
Of course, it's a huge task, Danny, because there's so many children out there, as we saw on the news and everything, suffering. They've got no homes, no schools, no food. You know, it's a really tragic time for them.
No, absolutely. You heard Father Aboud speaking at the charity event last week. I recorded that film of Father Aboud, who obviously worked for Caritas in Beirut for many, many years. He's a Carmelite priest. He's a teacher. He's got his feet on the ground very much of Beirut society, and the stories that he told about the endemic poverty, the desperation of children fighting over bread to keep them alive, of the fact that education isn't a priority anymore. What is a priority is putting food in the mouths of their children for parents. So it's a huge task. It's a mammoth task. And many people have said to us that it's a fruitless task, that such is the nature of the country, such is the state of Beirut, that there is no hope. The only hope is foreign intervention and the President Macron coming along and doing something wonderful over there. And they may be or they may not be right. But I think one of the key elements of Catholic schools in England, in Europe, around the world is to search for the common good. And we try to work for the common good in London and in England. And this is an opportunity to reach our hands of support and friendship and love to children who are just born in a more unfortunate part of the world and seek to pursue the common good there. We're looking to raise best part of $500,000. Based upon our calculations, that would keep the after-school provision in these 2 schools in Beirut open for the next 3 years. But I think there's enough people in this country with big hearts and deep pockets who can see that what the Constantinian Charitable Trust is trying to do is worthy and noble.
So Danny, tell me, how can we help here? How can we help to support those children and their families over in Lebanon and Beirut?
Okay, so I mean, this is very straightforward, Martin. We are a charity. We have a 3-year project to raise, as I said, $500,000. Dollars is obviously the currency that everybody uses in the Middle East or in Lebanon. Anyway, it's just a case of giving money. You know, you picked up the details of how you register on your account, how you can donate money. $10, £10 from a number of people who watch your TV program, Martin, would make a qualitative difference. I know from my own background, you know, from the Irish community in Manchester and my Irish parents, I know how generous our community has been over the years, how the support for those in need, because we as a country, we as a people have suffered so much for centuries, and we recognise quite clearly the pain and the grief of others. So for the short and medium term, Martin, and to all your listeners, we're asking to support the children by making a donation for the Constantinian Charitable Trust to try to keep these young kids in school for the next couple of years and use that hopefully as a foundation to build. But that's for the future. Short, medium term, we want money to help support these children get back into school. Isn't it crazy that all we want for our children in the UK and Ireland is a happy, healthy life where education develops them into being young, successful, happy citizens? Children in Beirut and around the world don't have that option. And we want to try to tilt the stick a little bit more in their favour. So essentially, crudely speaking, we need the financial support of your viewers and your listeners to help the children of Beirut.
How can the listeners tonight get the money to you, Danny?
So there is a website, the Constantinian Charitable Trust, which has all the details of how one can make a donation. You can do it through PayPal, or you can use your credit card. And most people have been using credit cards. It's obviously a safe and secure website, and the system on there is set up to be solid and secure for donations. You'll see all the details about it. There's a map of Beirut. There's the information about the schools. There's the interview with Father Aboud last week. There's a little biography of all the different trustees, including myself, of the trust, who we are, where we come from, etc. And there's also some really good vision stuff there about what we try to do, living in the 5th richest country in the world, to alleviate the misery of these children in Beirut and give them a chance for a better life. So all the details, Martin, are on the website, the Constantinian Charitable Trust.
All right, thank you, Danny, so much for joining us tonight, and thank you for telling us all about the great work that you are doing to support those children and families out there in Lebanon and Beirut. Best of luck to you, Danny.
Martin, and all your listeners, God bless. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Danny, you're doing a wonderful job trying to support all those poor children in Lebanon and Beirut, and we wish you the very best of luck with all the fundraising. Now, Marian Waldron is going to join us, and she's going to entertain us with her brand new song called Keep It Country.
Keep it country from now on. There's nothing like a country song. Listen to me and you'll agree to always keep it country just like me. You can keep your rock and roll and all that heavy stuff. I don't dig that kind of thing, you see. Just a simple melody with simple words to match is all I need to satisfy me. Keep it country from now on. There's nothing like a country heart, and an artist that performs it from her soul. Sad words you will hear to make the teardrops start, or a happy one to make the good times roll. Keep it country from now on. There's nothing like a country song. Listen to me and you'll agree to always keep it country just like me. Keep it country from now on. There's nothing like a country song. Listen to me and you'll agree to always keep it country just like me. Keep it country from now on. There's nothing like a country song. Listen to me and you'll agree to always keep it country just like me. To always keep it country just like me.
We hope you all enjoyed Marian's new song. Now that brings us to the end of the show for this week. Don't forget you can catch Henry McGlade next Thursday evening at 7 o'clock, and we're here at 7:30 with the Irish in the UK. Until then, take good care.